Rev up your engines! David Montgomery says, I got 2019 Kia Forte, it burns oil. I bought a 2019 Kia Forte, brand new, 3.5 years ago, with a manual transmission. It has 90,000 miles. It gets close to 50 miles a gallon, but it burns as much oil as gasoline. Should I keep it or get rid of it? Well, I can. Now, if you want, give it a try. You never know. Take it to a Kia dealer, say, this is excessive oil burner. You got engine problems. I want it fixed free, right? But they're real stinkers about it. They make you do a test, and then they seal it, and they say it's got to burn more than a quart of oil every 1,000 miles. But if it does, if it really burns a lot of oil, a lot more than that, take it in. They should have to replace that engine. And if that's the case, you get a free engine, right? Give it a try at least. But if they're their usual scumbaggery saying, oh, well, this is too old, or you got too many miles, or oh, it's not burning enough oil, blah, 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 then get rid of it while you can and don't even deal with it. Because from my experience, they say they fix these engines. A lot of times, a year or two, then they blow up again because they never fixed them right in the first place. When they're doing free warranty work, they generally do the crappiest work possible. The mechanics get paid less. The dealer isn't making the profit they make when they fix your car and you're paying for it when it's warranty work. You might just try. Maybe they'll put another engine in, but if they don't, get rid of it then. Tungo Mark says, I have minus 12% long-term fuel trim. I have a 1.6 GDI turbo and its long-term fuel trim is minus 12%. What could be the issue? It's subtracting 12% fuel trim long run. That means it's running too rich. It's got too much fuel and it's got to subtract it. Now, if you're lucky, something as stupid as a clogged air filter can do that. Because if you have a clogged air filter, it doesn't get enough air, so there'll be too much fuel and not enough air. That would be the easiest thing. And I fixed quite a few cars that way. People that don't know, they never even checked the air filter. 4 years later, you're looking inside, it's all covered with black. Try that first. You could also check the mass airflow sensor. It could be dirty and need cleaning. You can watch my video, make your car run better with a little spray cleaner. You can try that, right? Now, past that, you could have leaking fuel injectors, and then they drip too much fuel in. You could have a leaking pressure regulator for the fuel pump system, and if it lets too much fuel through, too much pressure, it will also run too rich. A lot of things you can do, but always start simple and then work your way up. Pray it's just a clogged air filter. It can be. Rising Forever says, the van has no reverse. I found a 2006 GMC Savannah 2500 fully converted van with a small kitchen, nice bed curtains. They're asking $1,500 cash. The tranny doesn't go into reverse. How long can it last? Is it worth it? It has 100,000 miles on the engine. Well, hey, $1,500 is nothing. And if it has a small kitchen, nice big bed and everything, the stuff inside, you could part it out, right, if you had to. You're going to have to put a transmission in it. Reverse is the first gear that often goes out, and the rest of the tranny soon is going to break down. And it's a giant van. You need to have reverse. It's not like if you had a little car, you could push it out with another person and then drive it away forwards, right? You're not going to do it at a van. Price what it costs to have a remanufactured tranny put into that thing. See what it costs and then decide, do you want to pay that plus $1,500? Now, if it's clean and you're looking for something like that and it runs okay otherwise, yeah, go right ahead. But realize the tranny's got to be fixed immediately, so price that out and see what they say. Rising Forever 2020 says, should I get a 1994 Civic or a 2000 Echo? Civic has 267,000 miles. The Echo has 131,000 miles. Get the Echo. It's got half the mileage. Toyotas can run forever, right? Civics can run a long time too, but it's got twice the mileage. 267. Get the Echo, 131. Now, the Echoes were not popular cars. They could run a long time. I had customers with them. They're little cars. They ride kind of bumpy and stuff. But if you don't mind the way that it rides, get the Toyota. It's going to last the longest. It'll outlast the Civic because, one, it's a Toyota, and two, it's got half the mileage that the Honda has on it. That, to me, that's kind of a no-brainer. Kevin K. Heath says, I have an Infiniti with smelly vents. I got 2018 Q5. I see you're supposed to spray stuff in the air intake vents, Lysol or something, but I can't find the air intake vents. Help me. Guys in the front of the car, you might open the hood too, right? And listen, but here's a real easy thing. Just any kind of smoke maker, anything that makes smoke, blows smoke, whatever, inside your garage or when it's not windy outside, put it in front of the car and turn the smoke on. let the smoke out. The smoke will get sucked into the vents. Watch where the smoke goes. You see where it goes in? That's the vents, and that's where you would spray the Lysol to get it inside. And you really want to do it there because that goes in the whole system. If you spray from the inside of the car, it'll only spray a short way, and it doesn't go through the whole system. When you spray it on the intake, it's sucked in, and it goes through the whole system, and it'll get rid of all the mold and bacteria that's growing in there. It's only common sense, right? If you can't hear it with your ears, just blow some kind of smoke around, and you'll see the smoke get sucked into it. Have it on full blast, outside air, and that'll be sucking the most, and you'll see it'll suck it in, and you can spray it where the smoke's being sucked in. Rather not say so. What are your thoughts on the new Jeep Wrangler Sahara, the one with the electric battery? Okay, I would not buy an electric vehicle, and it's certainly not a Jeep product. They're not bulletproof. They don't even know what battery systems are going to be accepted over time. You're going to pay a premium for one of these electric vehicles, and who knows how long it'll last. Fiat took over Chrysler, right? It was bad enough when they took over. Now Stellantis took over, and it's kind of doubly bad. I would not buy any of their products, especially anything new like an electric vehicle, until they've been out at least 5 years to see, do they hold up? Do the batteries hold up? Do they start on fire? Do they charge up right? I would stay away from that vehicle. Franco Bink says, how often should I use Plexus on my headlights? Maybe a couple times a year, that's it. Maybe every 6 months. It's a nice polish and a preservative, and it keeps the ultraviolet rays of the sun from eating up your plastic headlights. When the plasticizers dry up from the rays of the sun, especially the ultraviolet rays, then they start to crack. And the Plexus not only polishes it, but it seals it. So a couple times a year is perfectly fine. I know it's expensive stuff, that Plexus, but it really works for polishing any kind of plastic. I use it on my glasses. I use it on my motorcycle windshields, all that stuff. It's great for polishing plastic. Donkey Kong says, should I buy a 1998 Infiniti I30 for $1,800? Infinitis are endless money pits as they age. I just had a guy bring me a car the other day. He had a Toyota, and his wife just bought a Toyota because she had an Infiniti. And he said it was the biggest money pit he ever had. And I said, well, what did you do? Well, he said, I made a mistake of buying it with 100-something thousand miles on it and everything. The catalytic converters went out, the power steering, the transmission went out. I said, yeah, that's the thing about Infinitis. They're fun luxury cars to drive around when they're new. But as they age, well over 100,000 miles, they become endless money pits. Don't buy that thing. I don't care if somebody is selling it to you for $600. It will turn into an endless money pit if it isn't already. They're the luxury version of Nissan Infiniti, and all the parts are super high. Guys that work on them charge a fortune, but mainly they break down. Infinitis are still part of Nissan, and Nissan's a pretty crappy company these days. Well, of course, there's a backlash over the $3 trillion clean energy ideas that the government have, right? Recently, a farming family in Kansas that's been there since the 1800s says, we don't want these big wind generators in our property. They make noise. They have flashing lights. And of course, the hilarious thing is $3 trillion are going to put in infrastructure. This person, they offered them $6,000 to hang one there, right? And $4,000 if they can store their construction equipment on the person's land. They said no. They're offering peanuts to people, just like everything. The corporations get billions. And then, here's $4,000 if we can use your land, So don't think that the stuff is going to be smooth. It's not, and it's per usual. The companies that are doing it want to make as much profit as possible, so they got to get the land and property from someone, right? Why should they get peanut money for these companies that are making all this money? They never want to share, right? Well, in this case, they have to because they don't own the land. Unless they up the ante and start paying people more money. I know back in the day, people in New York State that had these wind turbines put in, they give them a little bit of money like that. And then when they broke, they were stuck with the cost of getting rid of the stupid thing because the company that had put it on had gone bankrupt. And then they're stuck with this giant windmill that they got to get rid of, which costs a lot of money to take it down. You're going to find there's all kinds of pushback on this stuff. People don't want them in their neighborhood. They don't want the noise. It's not the magical savior of us all, that's for sure. Well, Tesla's at it again. They've changed their course, and they said they're, in quotes, full self-driving system is going to have a lot more artificial intelligence. Instead of using just cameras and straight software, they're going to use artificial intelligence software. Or so they say. Now, this is volume 12. Maybe a lucky 13 will work for them. Who knows? I still, for the life of me, can't understand how they can call it full self-driving, because it isn't. I mean, it's just an oxymoronic phrase. It's not full self-driving. Now, the original one when it comes to full-time driving. Steering, accelerator, brakes are using regular programs. Now they say they're going to use artificial intelligence for it. Elon Musk said, oh, we don't need artificial intelligence for that. But now he's done a 180 and they're saying, oh, well, we need artificial intelligence for that because obviously the thing's screwing up all the time, right? No, they didn't give any official timeline. So as usual, it's old Elon talking through his hat. And here's a comment by Martin Burney, who owns one, saying that he's not really satisfied with the system. Listen to this. Sorry to have to say, but Elon's getting scatterbrained. I can't use this on my small town, only on limited access highways. Yeah, some aspects are smoother, but phantom braking is an issue. A real scary time is in construction zones, and keeping in center of right leaves a rough ride and constantly hitting potholes. Why does Elon admit camera only was a bad idea? Sensors do help, but I think I'm too old to get full self-driving ready for prime time before I leave this world. I paid for 2 full self-drivings and have yet to get confidence in them or Elon's promises of next update for sure. This is a guy who owns 2 of them. I don't think I'm going to live long enough to get full self-driving out of it. So, more promises from Elon. Volume 12 will fix it. I doubt it. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.